So you're ready to change your beliefs. Congratulations. I got about 10 minutes. Let's talk about it. Now, changing beliefs is something that can be a real popular topic in the personal development space, right? We are aware that our beliefs informs our thoughts, which informs our feelings, which informs our actions. And the fastest way to change how you move in the world is to change your beliefs. Now, when I say the fastest way to change your actions in the world, I don't mean the easiest way, and I don't mean the most comfortable way. I mean that your beliefs absolutely inform how you move in the world. There's no denying that. Now, the thing about changing beliefs is that the reason you adopted that belief in the first place when you were a little one is because it was safe. It brought you safety. It brought you comfort. It was like, oh yeah, mom does this. Dad does this. The person who's taking care of me does this. I love them. And that's all I've seen. So I'm going to adopt that, right? When you are a little one, ages 0 to 7, your world is very small. Our world is so small. We see the same 10 to 15 people every day, all the time. So your worldview is shaped basically by those people. And you wouldn't know any different because you couldn't know any different because you don't see other people, you don't have any other examples. So when we're fresh and we're new and we're ages 0 to 7, we accept what we know. And what we know is based on what we see in the world because there's no identity formed yet for ourselves, right? That process hasn't taken shape yet. That happens later in our teen years and our early 20s. And so most of us as adults, we go back and we say, something's not working, right? We go, I want to be in a healthy relationship, but it's not working for me. And when we start to unpack things, we go, oh, well, did my parents have a healthy relationship? Maybe, maybe not. Did I have both parents present? Maybe, maybe not. Would I want to replicate the relationship that I saw my mom have with men? Maybe, maybe not. And do I want to find a man that moved with women like my dad did? Maybe, maybe not. And there's this place of acceptance and honoring that the beliefs that got installed at a young age might not be the beliefs that get you to where you want to go, And the tricky part is that whether you like those beliefs or not, they are a belief that feels safe for you. And that can be a tough one to take on because when you start to consider the other beliefs that are possible and available for you, it's going to feel scary. It's going to feel like that can't be possible. Like that can't be the thing. And it's interesting because I was talking to a gentleman the other day on a client call, and he's in this place where he has designed an incredible life for himself, right? He's about to be 30. He's career successful. Like he's got, plenty of money. He's got plenty of business opportunities. He's, really in the space of like, I have a really awesome life to be able to bring a wonderful woman into. And I feel like there are no good women out there. That's a belief, right? Literally on the call, I heard him say, women don't want that. And I was like, pause, hold up, hold up. Is that true that women don't want that? And his response was like, right, he reflects on it. And I'm sitting there and I'm a woman, right, who wants that. I'm literally the living, breathing challenge to that belief. And when we say who wants that, we mean who wants a man who wants to be a husband, who wants to be devoted, who wants to love another so deeply and in a monogamous dynamic. And so I really empathize with the beliefs that you might be looking to rewrite and rewire because I understand how those got set in the first place, right? I understand how they got installed originally. And we get to have compassion for ourselves as we do this work because there was a very legitimate reason why you decided to choose that belief. And you are not wrong for embracing that belief in the first place. In the same way that if you don't know any better, then you can't know any better, right? If you're not exposed to anything different, then how do you know what's available to choose from? So now that you've been exposed to something different, you can start to take that firm belief, right? and it'll become softer and it'll become more pliable and malleable, and you can start to reshape it. And that reshaping of it is going to challenge you because there's this moment or a bunch of moments where you might feel like you're free falling and where you might feel like you're a little crazy because your world is set up as a result of your beliefs, right? Your current moment world is set up as a result of your beliefs. And so what that means is that your new belief is not going to match your external world at first, unless you can really surrender to it, unless you can really train yourself and discipline your mind to look for evidence that that new belief is true, right? And this is what is so important about me having this call with this client is I'm evidence for him that there are women who want to be married and who want to be in a monogamous relationship and who want to be in that level with a man who is wonderful and has a great heart, and they're willing to have that interaction, right? And they're not driven by how much money he makes. They're not driven by what he looks like, and they're not driven by what his car is or what he can financially do for them, right? That's not a sole focus. And so what we get to do as we look at beliefs is we get to really start to um, choose the new belief. So a great example of this is like when I was single and I wanted to be a space for healthy long-term partnership. I began to look around my world and say, well, gosh, well, I'm listening to all these podcasts that talk about how, men are not good and you can't trust them and they're not safe. And, you know, I'm surrounded by women who are single, who are really struggling in the dating world, and they will talk about how they're having all these problems with men. And so I took a step back and I said, well, okay, well, I might believe this, especially because I've had my fair share of experiences with men that have not been so savory, have not been ideal or even healthy. And now I want to choose to believe that there are healthy men in the world and that one of them wants to partner with me. One of them would be a great partner for me. That's a big gap, right? So what I did was I started to seek out mentorship and support, and I started to seek out friendships with people who loved being in partnership, who loved being married, who were healthy in their relationships. And I started to learn from them, right? In the same way that our little selves learn from the people around us. In the same way that as children, we learned from people around us, right? I watch my older son and my younger son, they're 10 years apart. I watched my little son learn from my older son, right? He's got an unfair advantage in life because he's got this older brother that's teaching him things that maybe his peers won't be exposed to. And he's learning things that, set him apart and inform his beliefs about himself. And so that's what I started to do was I took that template and I said, I'm going to start to surround myself with podcasts that talk about healthy relationships and with people who believe in healthy relationships and with people who are working on themselves and with people who are, when I say I would love to be in a long-term healthy partnership, they don't think I'm crazy because they already believe it's possible. And that speeds up the process because I'm collecting much more evidence that this new belief that there are healthy men out there, that one of them would like to partner with me. There's 9 billion people on the planet. There's got to be at least one. There's got to be at least one who believes similar to me and wants to love someone so deeply and so honestly and to be in the most vulnerable, deep work of our lives together. And first it was challenging because it felt so unsafe, right? Because I had only known 30 plus years of believing that it was better for me to be on my own, that relationships are a waste of time, that, it's just more responsibility, it's just more of a burden, right? And all of these beliefs that could be true, right? I'm not saying that they're not true. I'm saying that it could be true if I choose to make it my truth. But that means that there's also a possibility that if what I believe is true comes true, then what if I believed in something different? And could it come true? And I will tell you, I was single for 5 years. I was at a point where I really didn't know if it would come true or not. But that journey allowed me to be in a space where an even more important belief got solidified. And that more important belief was, I'm okay either way. I'm good either way. I'm worthy either way. I'm going to be me. And there's nothing else that is better than being me. And if I get to be me in healthy partnership, then I'm so excited about that. And if I get to be me and not be in healthy partnership, I'm so excited about that. Because either way, I'm good. I'm going to have a great life. I already have a great life. And that space right there is magic. Have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon.